Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy Friday to you and your family. And of course, congratulations to those of you who are long on Gala right now. Well done. It looks like we broke through that resistance level. We'll talk about that. And we're also testing currently the previous support turned resistance level as well. So we'll discuss that and much more. Again, keep in mind if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor, love teaching people to trade. You do want to become a better trader, go ahead and register here. CryptoCash.tech is a website. Link down below. Also have a tremendous amount of awesome situations here happening recently. We had a nice little 20 day 95% long from Bitcoin, and previously 94% in 3 days as well. So a lot of cool things going on there. Fantastic traders here as well in my community. So just keep up the good work, everyone. I'm super proud of everyone and just how amazing they are doing here with a lot of different ventures, right? So really, really cool stuff. Keep up the good work, guys. Also, we're using, if you didn't notice already, the best exchange in the world, Bitget. $10,000 prize pool monthly if you use the link in the description to register. If you want to be part of that and you've already registered for Bitget, just send me your user ID. Really simple, I can add that to it and get you covered. And obviously if you are using Bitget or any other leveraged exchange, you do need ExpressVPN as just essentially a benefit there to allow for you to be able to qualify to register and or utilize those things, right? So you get 3 months free with a 12-month plan. It's already very inexpensive, so check that out in your own time. Thanks again, Express and Bitget, for just allowing my partnership with you to positively influence my community. That's really what it's all about. Okay, so here's the thing with Gala. For starters, nice green day. Obviously, we know this, right? Because Bitcoin trucked up another chunky, it's only 2.5% on the day, right? But you got to keep in mind, we're almost like up 5% in the last 24 hours. So it's been a pretty significantly beneficial day for Bitcoin. And as I mentioned yesterday too, with Gala, if Bitcoin does well, Gala will follow suit. And that's the thing, Bitcoin's very overextended right now. So in all reality, it shouldn't be doing as well as it is, even though I love seeing where it's at. There's no doubt that Bitcoin is facing a resistance level here soon. We see the 200-day SMA soon to be tested. So I think the shelf for Bitcoin tentatively is 19.5. So that being said, we could also see a very similar circumstance for Gala in the sense of hitting that resistance level. We are kind of averaging ourselves out above and below the 200. So you got to keep in mind that this trading day here so far today is a positive. That could reaffirm that that's a new support level at right around 4 cents. However, it's a little too early to tell, right? And as I like to say, of course, wait for confirmation if at all possible. Even though everything's running, it's easy to want to FOMO in. You want to be careful. A lot of things are heightened right now, and there's a decent sell-off on the horizon. That's just my personal opinion. I hope it doesn't happen. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't feel like we're out of the woods yet. All right. That being said, though, RSI well overextended even still for Gala. So same thing with Bitcoin as well. There's going to be a pullback, a reckoning that will happen eventually. What goes up must come down. Same thing happens here as well. We can see the MACD basically increasing. It's converging now for based on today's trading day. But just keep in mind, this catalyst here, this little push, is likely because of Bitcoin pushing through that resistance level. Okay, so again, mostly positive, but I would just be on your guard and recommend considering taking some profits if you haven't already. There's a strong likelihood that Gala won't continue to run. If it does, it needs more time to consolidate first. That's just, again, what should happen. All right. So just some friendly advice there. Of course, I just care for my community and my subscribers, and I just want to make sure you don't get wrecked. We are pushing through a resistance level here at 4.5, and as I mentioned before, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that and how that came to be. It's essentially just an area in which you saw the price action supported multiple times before it broke down below in September, and then it became a resistance level a few times as well. Okay, so support, turned resistance, and now resistance here as well. So we haven't officially closed above that yet, so I wouldn't get too ahead of yourselves. We close below that level, there's a strong chance it'll continue to hold, but once again, the more often you test the level, the more likely it is to break. Okay, this could be the beginning of a very large cup and handle, all right? If there is a retracement, it'll probably consolidate somewhere around here, around the 3.7 or 3.3 mark. As I mentioned before, we could see that price point, but there's still a strong probability the price will continue higher in this momentous trend as long as it's healthy. And let's take a look and see if it is healthy in this regard. And when I look for healthy continuations, I'm looking for up over patterns, right? So this would be healthy, but this is not really all that healthy, okay? Because again, it's just too much of a good thing. That being said, if we kind of look right here, we are starting a fairly healthy pattern in the last 24 hours. So again, that's positive in a sense. Definitely not a reason to take a trade, but that is absolutely a thing. We can look at resistance level at 70 getting tested right now, a convergence potential on the MACD. So those two things put together does imply the price will continue higher. Now again, the probability of that happening is honestly 50-50. You could flip a coin, it can go either way. It's really hard to say what the market movers are going to want to do here. But the truth is, once you break through a resistance level like this and you do converge on the MACD, the probability of continuation from there is higher. Okay? So the 4-hour technically looks pretty darn good here, even though once again we're overextended on the daily. We're moderately overextended on the 4-hour, but not an excessive amount. Okay? Let's just double check TD sequential and see here we're at like a 5. We've only ran for 20 hours straight. And technically you can go upwards of 36 to 42 hours or 36 to maybe 44 hours, sometimes a little further. But generally speaking, you're going to hit a 9 and you're going to see the price pull back, right? So this is a full 36-hour continuation and then the price pull back. We are halfway into that. Hypothetically, we get rejected up here at 5 cents or 5.1 roughly, and the price comes back down again. Okay, so we'll have to reevaluate consistently. That's what trading is all about, is making sure that you come to a conclusion on your entry, but you want to make sure the long-term picture is going to be there, and you decide to take profits at the right time. All right, so that's generally the concept. So here with Gala, we can kind of see on the hourly TD sequential telling us we're at a 7. So we have potential of 2 or 3 more hours before the price decides it wants to pull back. But if you look at this here, it's pretty consistent. We hit a 9, goes sideways, hit an 8, pull back, up to an 8, pull back. So we're at a 7 right now. A pullback would make sense. Just keep in mind, when it were to pull back, a lot of times the previous high, this area here, will work as the new low. Okay, so hypothetically, we could probably draw a line right here at this level. What is that? It's right about 4.3. 4.3 should be the new support if the price comes back down and bounces. That's generally what we look for, okay? So I always try to teach my community those things because there's different strategies in place depending on the way the market's moving. And that is essentially the thing to look at. So again, that's the 15-minute there. Take a look at the hourly though. Let's take a quick peek here. We're 4 hours into this continuation. So I would say realistically, we have about 5 more hours of potential sideways action at this price point, maybe even further. Okay, but there's a strong likelihood that now that we've broken above this resistance level, if it holds for the next 5 to 10 hours, then the leg up potential is higher. If we can't hold, we're going to see probably a pullback down to, once again, that 4.3 mark and then continue up. Okay, so for the most part, we're seeing some really positive stuff here for Gala. It has tremendous more potential for upside than downside, but once again, it's overextended. Bitcoin's overextended as well. If we see a correction from Bitcoin, you need to know that Gala could very well correct itself as well. It's not completely independent of Bitcoin, even though it's doing very well contrary to that. You got to keep in mind that altcoins that do well, like Gala, for example, are going to be one of the first ones to sell off when Bitcoin starts to take a nosedive. Okay, and again, I'm not saying that Bitcoin will drop terribly. I think we're going to utilize some of those support levels in the 19,000 range. But once again, Bitcoin has to correct itself at least a little bit. We need to see a red day soon, or this continuation is going to be overextended too far. It's going to come down too hard. All right, let's take a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud here. Call it a day. We can see free and clear price action. Conversion line is well above the baseline. Nice momentum there, and we're above the upper and lower leads. So there's really no reason to close your long position. Perhaps in 12 to 24 hours, the price continues sideways. You might want to consider consolidating and or trimming a little bit of your position, but don't close the whole thing. Basically what it's saying. So Gala should continue to run is the overall sense here. But once again, we just need a little bit more consolidation than just this before the next leg up. So I think that we're definitely looking pretty good here for Gala. More positive than negative, right? So I'm glad that we broke this descending trend and the price is no longer making lower highs. We are establishing higher lows at this point. That's a very positive sign. Okay, so nice little shift in momentum there from Gala. Very well done. So hopefully you continue to trade well, and obviously be safe and not sorry if you are, getting stopped out. Learn from your mistakes, adjust. Maybe consider joining my trading academy so you can learn how to become a better trader, and obviously learn from my community as well. Awesome stuff there. Thanks again to my community for being great, awesome people. I look forward to working with you if you're not currently one. Take care, have a great rest of your day, and a wonderful weekend. See ya.